The owner was smart, in that he kept his bar open 365 days per year, 366 days in leap year. The bar would close around 2 or so and I would be out of there before 3 a.m. and walk the miles home. I remember it was hell after the time change of fall behind and having to work that extra hour. It was miles home, but, thankfully always a quiet walk. I remember one time, that I could feel lights on me, then emergency lights. Then he got on the loudspeaker and told me,
"Hold it right there."
Then to be a dick, he put the spotlight that they used to shine into dark cars on me. He gets out of the car and comes over and asks me where I'm coming from. I tell him work and he asks where I work, so I tell him. Because it was a bar, he asks,
"Oh, you sure you were working?"
I told him, I just said I was. He ran my ID and then let me continue my walk home. Sometimes if it was real late when I got out, I would stop at this breakfast place. My stepdad was still grieving and I brought home egg biscuits and hash brown. But when I offered what I bought for him, he said,
"I'm not hungry."
I said, "Yeah, you are." Then he admitted he was and finally ate. Another time that I got out late and went to that same breakfast place, I got there about 30 minutes before they opened. I didn't mind waiting. There were 2 women who worked there, who were more intent on smoking than getting ready to open for customers. One of the women told me it would be 15 minutes, so I continued to wait patiently. I could see the clock. Then they came outside again to smoke right as the 15 minutes elapsed. So I made my way over and the other lady was real irate with me. I told her that I had waited the time that the other lady had told me and I was ready to place my order. She kept smoking and told me,
"Well, I'm her boss, and you're just gonna have to wait."
As I walked away, I told her, "You just lost a customer." She walked after me, smoking and yelling.
"That's fine. That's fine."
I said, "That is fine, I'll just go to the corporate office," she yelled.
"I'll call the cops."
I said, "Call the cops. You're the one getting irate." I never ate there again. Another time I walked home after work, I made it just off the main road before I felt headlights on me. I walked on the opposite side of the road to allow that car to pass. Then the emergency lights came on and I shrugged, then reached for my wallet. All of a sudden his door opens and I hear,
"Get your hands out of your pocket."
I told him, "Relax. I'm just getting my ID." I held my wallet up to the street light, pulled my ID out and walked toward him. I handed him my ID and told him, "Here, run this." So he takes my ID and asks me where I'm coming from and I tell him work. He asks where I'm going and I tell him home. He asks where home is and I'm a few streets over. He asks where I work and when I tell him, he's jovial and asks,
"Oh, really?"
He asks if I have weapons and I tell him no. He asks if he can check, so for the purposes of training, I tell him to go ahead. By this time, 3 additional cruisers have shown up. He asks if I have secret pockets and I go to show him and he grabs my hand, then calmly asks me to point. He asks me why I don't drive and I tell him, "'Cause I'm poor." He laughs. He tells me,
"Thanks for being so cool about this."
Then they ask if I want a ride home, but I tell them I'm good. I knew they had streets to patrol and I didn't want to take them from that. The last time I had any interaction with police walking home, I felt the lights upon me and looked back. I made the signal to roll down the window and he asked where I was coming from and my ID. After I checked out, I asked him what happened. They were looking for a murder suspect. I hope they caught him.